Ghetto Cowboy, Chapter 7. The stables is nothing more than a few garages and some vacant lots with old buildings that look like they made out of scrap. I peek inside one. It's dark and smells all dank like horse. There's banged up plywood and hay on the floor, and the ceiling is covered in cobwebs so thick it looks like nobody ever cleaned up there before. The stalls is small with no windows, and the wood is old and warped, like it's been there forever. There's maybe 10 horses inside, all poking their heads out of their cubby holes, looking at me like I'm the one who shouldn't be in the city. Why they need horses out here anyhow? I don't get it. There's illustration right here. Good picture. I hear some whistling outside and go around back to check it out. I spot a black horse running around all crazy inside a circular fence. A few guys and a bunch of kids hang off the fence, whooping it up and making noise. They ain't dressed like cowboys, just regular street clothes. One of the guys even dresses like them Muslim dudes, in a black robe and skull cap. The horse is kicking and stomping at something. He looks wild, all black and rough, ready to do some damage. When I walk up to the fence, I see it's Harper in there, all alone with that crazy thing. His white tee is covered with dirt, his hair too. He just standing there in the ring watching that horse almost run him over every time it circles him. Man, I knew he was crazy. He gonna get himself killed for real. Then what'll happen to me? But Harper acts all calm, like it ain't no big thing, following the horse with his eyes as he steps right into the horse's path. The horse skids to a stop and suddenly they face to face. I think for sure the horse is going to charge him, but Harper just raises his hands, nice and easy. Everyone watching gets all quiet. When he steps closer, the horse backs up, almost into the fence. Harp reaches forward to touch him, and the horse suddenly jumps up on his back legs like he gonna stomp him. But Harper don't back off. He stands there, as calm as can be, like he reeling the monster in with his mind. He starts whispering something over and over until that horse finally settles back down to earth. The kids shake their heads like they can't believe what they seen. Harper moves in closer and closer, the horse rising up a couple of times, but suddenly Harper's standing right next to him, his hand on the horse's shoulder, then his neck, and finally his head. Harper shushes him like a little baby till the horse is all relaxed, and then it's just the two of them together. Harper is all smiles, patting the horse on his neck. Then he sees me. He walks the horse over my way, where it comes right up shaking its head at me. I jump off the fence. You ever seen a real live horse before you got here? I step back a few feet. Nah, I live in the city. He laughs. This is the city. I roll my eyes. This ain't no city. This is like, I don't know what. It's crazy, all I know. The Muslim dude grins. That your son? Harper shakes his head. Nah, I just found him on my doorstep. He turns back to me. Want a ride? You crazy? I ain't getting on one of them things. He points to the kids sitting on the fence. See them kids? They smaller than you, but they all ride. I looked at them. They look just like any kids you might find flipping on a mattress in any old empty lot. They don't look afraid, patting that horse from the fence. But I still ain't getting up on something that's 10 times bigger than me. Nah, I'm too hungry now. I ain't eaten since yesterday. Then someone behind me says, Is that so? I turn around and see a old head looking at me all close up through thick, beat-up glasses. His big old cowboy hat almost hitting me in the head. He must be 100 years old. He squints at me. Harper, you didn't feed this boy? Harper shrugs. Can you see I'm busy? Boy can boy can fend for himself. The old man shakes his head, whispers to me, Dang, fool. Don't care about nobody unless they got 4 legs and a tail. Come on. I got some eats in the clubhouse. Follow me. I follow the old man. He got real dark skin, which make his white hair look like snow. His legs seem all crooked, like he been knocked off a horse one too many times. On the way over, he starts giving me a tour of the place. We got 3 stables on this property, about 30 stalls total. We're full up at the moment, since some of the other stables round here closed in the last couple years. He stops and waves at another old-timer who's playing chess by himself. Must be 40 or so of us riders who call this home. Though some guys is too old to ride much, he says. This fellow here got knocked off his horse about 3 months ago. Ain't that right, Doc? We found him lying on his back, his shoes still stuck in the stirrups of his horse. They laughed and shake hands. Thought he was dead, but he was up and about and just fine after a few days. Tough dude, this one. We pass a few other kids stacking them hay squares. They look kind of scraggly, like they was playing in the dirt, but happy. Like them other kids, they talking about who's the fastest racer. The old man jokes with them. Y'all owe me sodas from falling off your horse, so you shouldn't be talking about who's the fastest just yet. Besides, we all know who the fastest really is. He points at himself, and then they all laugh and they give him high fives. Them your kids? I ask as we move on. He smiles. My kids? Well, I practically raised them since they was pups, but nah, they ain't mine. My kids is too busy working for their corporate masters to be concerned with horses. He sees I got no idea what he's talking about. These kids here come off the streets. They got nowhere else to go except gangs. A stray cat comes wandering up to him, and he picks it up. I notice there's a lot of strays running around here. Kids and cats. They seem to find their way here, and they keep coming back. What are you gonna do? He hobbles around a corner, where I see a homemade shack. Well, here we are, the clubhouse. The clubhouse is a old one-room shed with a dirt floor. We go inside, where the old man has a couple of plug-in cookers going. But it actually smells pretty good. Got some Texas chili with cowboy potatoes over rice and homemade cornbread. You like cornbread? Right now, as long as it ain't moving, I'll eat it. He blows the dust out of an old bowl and fills it up. Boys got to eat, he says, laughing. We sit down on some old folding chairs, and he watches me dig in. Food's good, too, not like what I normally eat. It makes my stomach feel all warm. He sees me looking at some old pictures of a black cowboy on the wall. That's me. Back in the day, I used to be the #1 bull rider on the Southwest tour. I think he must have watched one too many cowboy movies on TV. Sure thing, mister. What? You don't believe me? I swallow my food. Look, you guys might think y'all is cowboys, but all I know is real cowboys is white. The old man shakes his head like I'm a fool. Son, you don't even know black cowboys is a tradition that goes back to before the Civil War? Whatever, I say. He looks disappointed. Not whatever, man. The word cowboy started as a black word. Wear it proudly. So how come I never see any black cowboys on TV then? He waves his hand. TV, Can't trust the media to tell the truth. The truth is, the white man always gets his way. Looky here. He pulls out a book from a dusty shelf. It got pictures and drawings from a long time ago. He shows me some old black and white pictures of black dudes dressed in homemade clothes doing cowboy stuff, roping, riding, and cleaning horses. back in the slave days, the slave who worked in the house was called a houseboy. The slaves who worked with the cows was called cowboys. Get it? No, but he just getting started. He points to a picture of a black cowboy riding a horse out in the wild. He got one of them cowboy rope things whirling in the air like he about to catch some bull. That's Bill Pickett, son of a slave and the most famous black cowboy of all. Back then, there was almost 9,000 black cowboys out west, working cattle and driving them up the Chisholm Trail and such. And these cowboys was so good that eventually the whites took the name cowboy for themselves. Stole it, really. Now we're just trying to take it back is all. He straightens his hat, like he in a movie or something. I shake my head. You guys is funny. We in the city with cars and computers and stuff, and you think you back in the wild, wild west. He smiles like I'm the one living in a fantasy world. I shrug and start eating again. He watches me for a long time until I say, "Why you gotta stare at me for?" That makes him laugh. You got your mama's eyes, but your daddy's attitude. I choke on something, and he lean over and smacks me on the back. You know my mama? I ask. Know her? I'm the one who drove her back to her folks in Detroit. This is definitely news to me. Why'd you do that? I say, my face getting all hot. He looks at me like I hurt his feelings or something. I didn't drive her away. I just took her home to her people, like she asked me to. See, sometimes young'uns aren't up for the things they get themselves into. I know your daddy well, know him his whole life. He can take care of a horse better'n anybody, but a wife and a kid? He was useless. It was the best thing for you. Just thinking about Harp caring more for a dumb horse than us gets me seeing red. What'd I ever do to him? He bends down close to me and whispers, You did nothing, son. You was only a tiny guy. Some people just relate better to animals. But your mama, she don't got horse in her blood. She tried, but I knew it was gonna end badly. It don't make either side bad. It's just the way it is. Sometimes you gotta move on. That makes me even more mad because I realize me and Harper got something in common. We both drove Mama away.